Good morning, class 12 students. So this is your subject physics, chapter number 14, that is electronic devices, and this is lecture number 4 of chapter 14. Okay, so up till lecture number 3 you have studied about p-type and n-type semiconductors. So today we will be studying about p-n junction. That is, today we will be you can say we will be pasting p-type and n-type conductor with each other. Okay, so p-n junction, how is it formed and what it is, we'll be studying that. So first of all, whenever a p-type semiconductor is brought in close contact with a n-type semiconductor, what you get is called p-n junction. For example, suppose this is a p-type semiconductor and this one is a n-type semiconductor. So we have put them in very close contact and therefore a junction is formed between p-type and n-type semiconductor, which is called p-n junction. So this will be p-n junction. Okay, and simply it can be drawn like this, a triangle and a single line like this. So this side is called p-type and this side is called n-type, and it is a p-n junction diode. So it is the you can say it is a symbol which is used to represent p-n junction diode in circuits. Okay, so it is much easier to denote than this one. Okay, so now this was about what a p-n junction is. Now how we form it, that is how we can bring p and n-type semiconductors very close to each other. So for the formation of p-n junction, what can we do? I have written that in 3 simple steps. First of all, a n-type silicon crystal is cut into wafers. Wafers means into thin slices. Okay, so what we do, we took a n-type silicon crystal and we will be cutting it into thin slices. After that, a p-type impurity, for example aluminium, is diffused on this wafer. Okay, so a n-type silicon crystal is taken, it is cut into wafers, or you can say it is cut into thin slices. After that, any p-type impurity is diffused into it, and third step, to diffuse this, what is done, it is heated at very high temperature. That is, both of this combination will be heated at very high temperature. So what will happen, this p-type will diffuse on silicon crystal, which is your n-type. So you can say a p-type semiconductor is formed over n-type semiconductor. So what you will get is a p-n junction. Okay, so this is how a p-n junction is formed. Now here I have taken n-type silicon crystal and cut it into wafers. It can be done opposite also. For example, you can take p-type silicon crystal, you can cut it into wafers, and then you can add any n-type impurity into it. Okay, so this is the formation of a p-n junction. Now we will see how this p-n junction works, or what is happening inside this p-n junction. So again I have drawn a p-n junction, right? Now as you know, and you have studied also, that in n-type semiconductor electrons are majority charge carriers, and in p-type semiconductor holes are majority charge carriers, right? So therefore in n-type I have drawn a lot of electrons but only 3 holes, and similarly in p-type there are a lot of holes but only 3 electrons. Okay, that is, in p-type holes are in very high majority, and in n-type electrons are in majority, right? So now to study this p-n junction, we will be studying 4 main terms, which are diffusion process, depletion layer, potential barrier, and drift process. So one by one we will be studying each term, that how these terms are related to this p-n junction. So first of all, let us begin with the diffusion process. Okay students, so this explanation is a bit theoretical, so you have to understand each step very properly and carefully. Okay, so first of all, what will happen, see, as you know, electrons are in high majority in n-type and holes are in high majority in p-type, and it is the law of nature that anything from high concentration flows to the low concentration. So you can say therefore electron from n-type will flow towards p. Now as soon as electron from n-type semiconductor will flow towards p, holes will be created in n, obviously. So therefore you can say as electron go to p, holes will go to n-type. So therefore, what will happen? See, this is again your PN junction. So from here, the holes have moved to N, and from here, the electron will move towards P. Now what is this? This I'll explain after just a minute. Okay. So now this is nothing diffusion process. That is, due to difference in concentration of electrons and holes, electrons move towards P type, due to which holes move towards N type, and this is called diffusion process. Okay, so again I am repeating it. Diffusion process is nothing but the flow of majority charge carriers, that is electrons from N to P and holes from P to N. Okay, so this is your diffusion process. And due to movement of these majority charge carriers, what will happen? Diffusion current will be produced. Okay, so now let us talk about, so this was all about diffusion process. Now let us talk about our second point, which is depletion region. So now again come to the diagram. Okay, so as I told you, electrons from here are coming here and holes from here are going here. Now clearly see, this hole was a N-type semiconductor, but when electron leave from here, that is when electron go from N to P, what will be left here? Obviously a positive seat, or you can say a ionized donor atom will be left here. So these plus signs are nothing but ionized donor atom which are created due to movement of electrons from here. यहाँ से electron चला गया and therefore a positive charge has come here. Similarly, this is not a positive charge, but it is an ionized donor atom. Okay. Similarly, when holes are moving from P to N, and they will be leaving a negative charge, because obviously if positive charge has moved, that means a negative sign will be there. So these are nothing but ionized acceptor atoms. Okay, so these are ionized donor atoms and these are ionized acceptor atoms. And one more thing, these atoms are now fixed here. They are not free to move. For example, electrons and holes are free to move, but these atoms are not free to move, and therefore they are called immobile ions. By immobile ions, you mean the carriers which are, or you can say the atoms which are not free to move. Okay. So now, as you can see, there is a region formed by these immobile ions. This region is called depletion region, or you can say depletion layer. Okay. So now to define this depletion layer, you can say the space charge region on both the side of PN junction, which consists of immobile ions, that is the ions which are not free to move, and is free of any charge carrier. By this line you mean it does not contain any electron or hole. Okay, because only the charge carriers are electrons and holes here. So this is called depletion region. Okay, so the space charge region on both the side of PN junction, which consists of immobile ions and is free of any charge carriers, is called depletion region. And if it is asked how depletion region is formed, so you can say depletion region is formed due to the movement of majority charge carriers, that is from the movement of electrons from N type to P type, and the movement of holes from P type to N type. Okay, so this was the explanation of depletion region. Now we will be studying the third term, which is potential barrier. Okay, so I have redrawn the diagram here. So this is almost the same diagram, except one new factor is there that I'll be explaining to you. So now see what happens. सबसे पहले diffusion हुआ, due to which immobile ions came into play, due to which depletion region is created. Now what will happen? See, this is a positive, this is a negative atom, or you can say negative ion. So as you know, from positive to negative, electric field exists. So we can say an electric field will be generated from positive ion to negative ion in your depletion region. Okay. So now you have electric field which is from positive to negative, and you have some length also. And as you know the formula, V is equals to EL. So you have E, you have L. That means obviously you will be having some potential difference. So therefore, due to this electric field, a potential is developed, because here are negative ions. So this will be negative electrode. And because here are positive ions, this will be your positive electrode. So you can say Due to your immobile ions, electric field is set up, and due to this electric field, potential barrier or VB. So I'll be denoting potential barrier by VB. Okay, potential barrier occurs near depletion region. Okay, so what is happening? This electric field is acting as a potential barrier. Okay, so now understand what will happen due to this potential barrier. Okay, so as I told you, holes were moving from P to N, but because here a negative electrode has come, and as you know holes are positive, that means they will be attracted by this negative only. So that means this potential barrier will not allow a hole to go from P to N, or this potential barrier will not allow an electron to go from N to P. So you can say the electric field has set up a potential barrier which is opposing the flow of majority charge carriers, or you can say which is opposing the flow of diffusion process. Okay, again I'm explaining it, because here are holes and a negative electrode has come here, so it will keep these holes here only, because positive holes will be attracted to negative electron only. Therefore, due to which these holes are not able to go to N type, or you can say this potential barrier is opposing the flow. So you can say that this electric field acts as a potential barrier to the flow of majority charge carriers, or you can say diffusion process is opposed by this strong electric field. So see what is happening. First of all, diffusion was taking place. Due to this diffusion, electric field started to begin, and as soon as this electric field becomes strong, it will start opposing that diffusion process only. Okay, so now what will happen when this electric field will become very strong? So then what will happen? See, as you know, some electrons are also present in P type, and here is the positive ion of the electric field. So due to this strong electric field, what will happen? A electron from P type will be attracted towards N type, and a hole from N type will be attracted towards P type due to this negative. So you can say due to this strong electric field, now a little movement of minority charge carriers will take place. That is, due to strong electric field, an electron from P type move towards N, and a hole from N type move towards P. Now, why I am calling it the flow of minority charge carriers? Because obviously electrons are minority charge carriers in P type, and they are flowing here. Similarly, hole is minority charge carrier in N type, and it is flowing here. So due to this strong electric field, the flow of minority charge carriers is started, which is called drift process. Okay, so what is the difference between diffusion and drift process? Diffusion process is due to the movement of majority charge carriers, and drift process is due to the movement of minority charge carriers. And due to this drift process, a drift current will flow in opposite direction of diffusion current. So what has happened? A drift current will flow in the opposite direction of diffusion current. Okay, so now again the question is, why opposite direction? Because see, when holes are moving from P to N, that constitutes to diffusion current. So that means if hole is moving, that means positive charge is moving. That means this will be the direction of diffusion current. But when electron moves from P to N, that creates the drift current. And because the direction of your conventional current is opposite to that of movement of electron, so this is the movement of electron. So that means this will be the direction of drift current. So therefore you can see diffusion and drift current are opposite in direction. So this is all about working of a PN junction. First of all, diffusion process occurred. After that, due to which electric field comes into play, which creates a potential barrier to diffusion process. After that, drift process takes place. Okay. Now, as I told you initially, that is at first stage, diffusion process or diffusion current was very high and drift current was small. Now this drift current is taking place due to the electric field. Now as electric field becomes very strong, what will happen? Drift current will also start to increase. Okay, so Initially diffusion current was high and drift current was small, but as soon as electric field becomes very strong, drift current also increases, due to which what will happen, a stage will come when diffusion process and drift process and their current, that is diffusion current and drift current, will become equal. That state is called equilibrium state of PN junction. So you can say when when diffusion current becomes equal to drift current, that state is called equilibrium state. And obviously अगर दो opposite direction में current जो है they have become equal, then what will happen? That means there will be no current because net current will be zero, or you can say there will be no flow of charge along PN junction when equilibrium state has reached. And at this state your value of potential barrier will be maximum. So you can say when your PN junction diode is in equilibrium state, that means there is no flow of charge carriers along junction and value of your potential barrier will be maximum. Okay, so this was the PN junction, and the potential barrier which was developed was the internal potential of this PN junction. Always remember that was not any external battery. We have not connected any external battery to that. It is the internal potential of this PN junction. But now the next topic is biasing of PN junction, and by biasing of PN junction you mean application of DC voltage to PN junction. That is, now if we connect some external battery to PN junction, that will be called biasing of PN junction. Okay, now the question is, why is it done? Why we do biasing? So by applying DC voltage, what happens? Either the barrier potential increases or decreases along the junction, due to which we do biasing. Okay, either to increase or to decrease the potential barrier of the junction, we do the biasing. And there are two types of biasing, forward biasing and reverse biasing, that we'll be discussing in next lecture. Okay, thank you.